Welcome to BA Movie Reviews! This is Ben, and I'm Andrew. And we are just two lowly theater workers who decide to use their free movies to review them. Because most of them... Anyway, this week we reviewed the movie Sanctum in 3D and The Roommate, starring people I have never heard of.
Our goal is to see as many movies as possible and review as many movies as possible. Each week we'll try and get them all. Like next week we're going to try and do what we can. There are 4 movies come out in 1 week, and that's tough for us with our conflicting school schedules and work schedules. But we'll try and do it as well as we can. We'll have guest people every once in a while. Like other theater employees, my wife, like whatever we can do to have people. Yeah, and that's our main goal is to do that.
We may at times do separate reviews, on the field reviews. I may do a review by myself. I'm gonna review The Eagle by myself. I'm excited.
Yeah, next week we're gonna do Justin Bieber, which I know you guys are all excited for. He is, as you can tell. So yeah, I guess we should just dive right in. We saw Sanctum first. And it was a pile of garbage.
It was shit.
Just from the beginning. Just terrible. It's about a bunch of people who cave dive.
Cavers.
Cavers, as they said a ton in the movie, which is weird because you're just like, is that actually a term? Or
I think one of my favorite lines is, "That's not who a caver is." And then they go on to explain what a caver is, and it's like, that's what a caver is. And it's like, is that necessary? Like, I don't care what a caver is.
It's not even that. It's just like there's not enough background for us to care what a caver is. Especially because this movie's not that long. It's little under 2 hours. And they talk about nothing, really. Like, there's actually very little dialogue. And what dialogue there is terrible. It's just
horrible.
It's just written poorly. And no one is more than one-dimensional. Like, when you see a character, that is the character. They don't evolve.
Bottom line.
Or anything through the movie.
Right off the bat, too. Horrible, shitty helicopter CGI. Classic James Cameron, coming in. I mean, it looked like sci-fi movie channel quality.
Yeah, it definitely, reminded me a lot of Jurassic Park, where they first, come into the island and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't as good as Jurassic Park, which was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, what is up with that?
3D was really good. I felt like it was good.
Nope.
He didn't really, but the water stuff was really cool, and the sets were cool. We have to give it that. Like, it looked like a cave. Like, there's no way to know if it was a cave or a real cave or not.
And right off the bat, too, speaking of Jurassic Park, a gentleman, one of the main characters, looks exactly like the hunter dude from the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The guy, shoot her! That guy looks exactly like him. Thought it was the whole time. Turns out it is not. But right off the bat, totally murders lady. Just kills her.
Yeah, and there's really no explanation on why he does it.
Pretty much what happens is they're swimming through this small thing, and then they're like, oh, we found this awesome, huge new thing. And then, oh, look, there's layer above. We can go up there. Well, we should probably go back. Some other shit's happening. And one of her, valves pops off. And so they're, doing the buddy breathing thing. And it's like, he does it, a couple times, and then he's just, puts it on his face. Literally does a face push away from her.
He pie faces her to death, basically.
Pie face to death.
And the weird thing about it was, the whole time, you're like, why don't they just swim up?
Yeah.
Buddy breathe and swim up at the same time. I understand that you can, if you go up too fast, you can have the...
You see, but okay, that's the thing I thought about that. Is okay, well, they'll get the bends or whatever, or some shit. But then, when the storm comes and why they're trapped, they just swim right up.
Yeah. They don't really show any difference between that,
holes, loopholes.
Yeah.
Or plot holes.
Plot holes. And there's, a lot of that stupid stuff in the movie where you're just why does this even happen?
Yeah.
It's there to, cause us to come to terms with these characters and, what they do, but we don't care what they do. We're in this movie just to see some, cool cave diving and shit like that, and then you turn it into some, weird movie where people just die for no reason?
Yeah, ridiculous. Awesome death scene, though. Let's say when they're above the meat grinder. So pretty much they're crawling through this cave, and they come to this opening, and they have to get to another opening across this huge ravine, and there's a giant, churning death meat grinder, as they call it, and it's the only female character who's like, I'm sassy and I do what I want and I don't care, I'm not gonna wear a wetsuit, you know, just like doesn't give a shit about anything. She's totally like going across, you know, and doing her thing. Hair gets caught in the bindings. Hair is caught in the bindings. And, you know, oh, this is scary. Did not see this coming. It totally blew me away. Literally, next scene, scalp is ripping off her head.
Yeah, it's like a really gross scene where,
not expecting it.
You know, and this movie's rated R, but basically, like, through the movie, you're like, well, they're just saying the F word for no reason. Or flipping each other off for no reason. Like, there's no natural acting in this movie. Like, whatever the director was, I don't even care who he is.
It was probably, James Cameron produced it. He probably, like, the director was some dude, and James Cameron's like, no, you should, let's do this.
It's kind of how it felt. It felt like he was standing right behind the director the whole time, and like, no, they should do this.
Toe step and fool. But yeah, this movie was unnecessary.
Yeah, it was very unnecessary.
I would say one thing I did like, though, is I did like what character development there was between the father and the son. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they didn't do a very good job of, like, tying it up as well, because, like, we don't really know why he was a bad father in the beginning, besides the fact that he was a cave diver for a living.
Yeah, there's a good, like, 5 solid minutes of, like, alright, I can get into that.
Yeah.
And then, nope, totally just downhills again.
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic was in this movie.
Oh, yeah, the dude from Fantastic Four was in this movie. And as you can tell, we almost forgot that he was in this movie because his character was so stupid. Like, billionaire philanthropist, like, first time you see him, he, like, comes out with his girlfriend and then he jumps into the giant hole with a parachute everyone else.
What was his first line or something?
Oh, his first line was, this cave is not gonna beat me. Like, opening.
Classic.
Yeah, you're just like, that doesn't... Why would you say that unless it is going to beat you?
Yeah, I knew right after that this cave was gonna beat this guy.
Oh yeah, from the
totally.
beginning. Like,
you're dead.
You didn't really think there was going to be a lot of deaths and a lot of forced drownings, but there were more than you needed.
3 or 4 forced drownings?
3, I think. 3 forced, and then the other guy just drowned because he, like, swam without his oxygen tank to, like, kill himself, basically.
There's many a times, yes, the forced drownings, like, dude hits his face on the rock. Somehow gets sucked underneath this tunnel. Nope, he's not dead. He gets shot up. He's floating. And every time they're like asking for it, but it just they struggle.
There's a lot of the
shoulder grabbing. And then they finally die.
Yeah. All right. So I gave it a 2 out of 5 because of the good CGI. And I understand that like James Cameron like made these movies with his cameras that he used for Avatar, and I understand that it looks good. The depth perception of this movie is awesome.
I think I just have something wrong to where I can't see 3D.
Well,
I literally could not see 3D.
Well, if we see... Well, Justin Bieber will be in 3D, so we'll see how that is. It doesn't matter.
No. I gave this movie a 2 out of 10. I have my own system.
He does whatever he wants.
But yeah, for shittiness, just wrapped in a blanket of poo.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Alright, so we saw The Roommate... Right after. Right after.
Shazam.
It was like, we had time to scarf down some Mexican food and then see this movie. From the beginning, like, the main character is just...
Was there any notables in this movie?
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Awesome. Of Titanic fame.
He was in Titanic?
Yeah, I think he might have been nominated for, like, Best Supporting Actor.
He was the dude that slapped Rose.
Yeah. Billy Zane. Anyway, so he's the only person, like, I guess if you know who Leighton Meester is from Gossip Girl, and the main character is the girl who plays Lila on Friday Night Lights.
There's the blonde girl from Easy A.
And the blonde girl from Easy A is, like, a Disney star.
That's Disney.
Yeah, and she was just terrible in this movie as well as she was in Easy A. She just plays the slutty blonde friend that's just, like... They literally meet in the first... couple minutes of the movie.
I love how they meet. She's just like doing something like turns and like bump into each other, and she's like, "Bad driver."
Yeah, and then they're
best friends.
Then they're best friends from then on.
But yes, the basically plot of this movie we forgot to mention. Girl goes to college for the first time. She's supposed to be 18-year-old. Looks like she's in the mid-20s. But she's like, oh, I have this new roommate. She goes crazy, tries to kill people.
Yeah, and from the beginning, like when you go into this movie, you already know. It's not like you haven't seen any trailers or anything. You know what the point of this movie is.
Yep.
Is that the roommate is going to be crazy and kill people. But, like, when you start the movie, they started off really strange, where she's kind of weird, but you don't really know, like, what's going on with her. Then all of a sudden, she's, like, putting kittens in dryers.
Literally puts a kitten in a dryer.
Yeah, and you're just like, okay, like, that was weird. You didn't need to do that.
My favorite scene of this movie has to be where the evil person, the girl, is a protagonist. Is that the good guy, or the antagonist is the good guy? I feel like an idiot, but I forgot.
I don't know.
I won't use those. Anyway, so she wants to fake that she got mugged so the one girl will feel sorry for her. And so she's just sitting in this mirror and literally just punches herself repeatedly in the face.
Yeah,
like, cuts herself.
And then takes a box cutter, which she'll use like 4 more times in this movie for some reason.
Ridiculous.
And she like cuts like a gash in her stomach. They show it off screen, so like you don't
everything,
see it.
Every type of gore that is inflicted in this movie, it's like is like not shown off screen with some like violent string music.
Yeah, it was. You could tell this movie was made to be PG-13. Like they weren't even like trying to make it R, because like they cut out any kind of blood, any kind of anything that would lead you to that. Besides, like, I think they say shit a couple of times, which is okay in PG-13.
One thing I really liked is the dude, the way how he picks her up and they start like dating. He totally makes a date rape joke.
Yeah, a couple of times.
There's a couple of times he makes date rape jokes.
Yeah. And they talk about the fraternity like it basically just is a giant date rape haven.
They try to pass off date rape as something that's cool, and I can't support it.
Yeah, this movie was really just like, hey, you should date rape girls in college because they deserve it.
Yeah, and I also, the first time they like see each other, he's like playing in the band, he's like the drummer, and he's like...
Yeah, but
like Caesar, like ridiculous.
What was funny is later is like in a later scene he's like laying on the bed doing his homework, but he has drumsticks for some reason. just so we like
twirling them.
Yeah, just so we don't forget that he was a drummer. And like when they showed his band, which was supposedly this sucky band, they were like studio quality epic.
It was like someone turned an iPod on and they were unplugged playing. Like, I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense.
And they were in like a coffee house and there was no one around, and they're like, oh, our band sucks, but it's the kind of music that you hear on the radio every day.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, this movie just gets out of control.
Oh, from the beginning, this movie is out of control. It gets worse and worse. Like, we were literally laughing out loud at this movie.
I didn't feel bad, though, because the other 6 people in the theater were laughing as well.
That's true. There was a bunch of, like, college-age girls that were, like, sitting in front of us, and, like, they seemed like they were scared.
No, there was some, like, 13, 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Frightened. Very much so frightened.
And, like, there was no kind of suspense. In the end, like, instead of having it just end with her, like, shooting the girl, which would have just been fine... she clicks the gun a bunch of times, and you're like, whatever, you know that the girl's gonna die anyway.
She only had 3 bullets in her...
In a 6-shooter, she had 3 bullets.
It's like, that's half-assed, and like, be prepared, you know? Like,
it just wasn't good. Alright.
I feel as though, like, yes, this movie just... It was horrible, but I thought at least it was hilarious. The most unnecessary characters in the entire movie is the crazy girl's parents. Yes,
they went home for Thanksgiving, and her parents were there just to reinforce the fact that she was crazy, but we already knew that. And, like, they didn't have any lines that, like, would lead you anywhere in the story to, like, think that something was different.
And she almost lights a gas station worker on fire.
Yeah, that was pretty weird, too.
I don't know. I give this movie 4 out of 10.
I give it a 1 out of 5. I know that he disagrees with me, but Sanctum was better.
Sanctum was just boring. And Australian accents so much.
I'd take an Australian accent over a blonde, dumb, date rape girl any day.
They just really drove home the date rape.
They really did.
God. Yes, this has been a BA review, Ben and Andrew. Please follow us on Facebook and the YouTube. Yeah, we'll be setting up a Twitter account if anybody wants to, and I'll be checking it daily. I have it on. Yeah, I have it on my iPhone, so I'll be checking it. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments to tell us how we're doing, or like what you would like to see, or anything like that, we're pretty open to this. Shoot us some ideas. Maybe just shoot us a movie to review. We'll review it. We'll do our best.
Yeah, and we can do classic movies as well. Like if you want us to review something that's older, we can watch it and then do it as well. So yeah, just follow us. Let us know what you think.